ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਪੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ। Welcome, Sangat Ji, to today's discourse. And as our brother Zakaria mentioned in the introduction, throughout the discourse today, let's focus on the mantra. Have the mantra automatically cycling through your mind throughout the whole discourse. This way, we can pay attention to the divine mantra. So whilst listening to the discourse, just have that mantra circulating in your mind. And in this way, we can gain the maximum out of today's discourse. So let's start by traveling back to the 16th century. Guru Nanak Dev Ji, immersed in deep meditation, was sent a divine task from the Almighty. A task that appeared simple on the surface, but would prove to be more challenging than it seemed. The task? To build a wall. Guruji shared the desire for this wall to be built to the Sangat. And filled with devotion, the disciples eagerly began constructing the wall as per the Guru's instructions. Once the wall was completed, Guru Nanak Dev Ji examined it with a discerning eye and expressed dissatisfaction, instructing them to knock it down and start anew. Confused but faithful, the disciples complied, believing that the Guru must have a reason for this request. They began the construction again, pouring their hearts into each and every brick, only to be asked to demolish it once more. This pattern continued for 4 attempts, and gradually some of the disciples started questioning the Guru's intentions. Why must we rebuild repeatedly when it's perfectly constructed? They thought. Some even cited personal commitments as an excuse to abandon the task and left, perplexed by the Guru's behavior. As each attempt progressed, the group of followers diminished. After the 4th time, only a few remained, including one of the most devoted of all Sikhs, Bhai Mandeep. The others believed Guru Nanak Dev Ji had lost his senses due to old age, but Bhai Mandeep saw this as an opportunity to serve his Guru selflessly. Ignoring the discouragement from others, Bhai Mandeep humbly took on the task once more, driven by his unwavering faith of love for the Guru. Despite mounting pressure to give up, he focused on the true meaning of spirituality and embraced the concept of acceptance and service, mirroring Guruji's teachings. On the last attempt, all but one had deserted the Guru. only Bhai Lerna remained, slogging away with the same unwavering faith, placing one brick next to the other with the same love and attention as he had in the first brick. As Bhai Lerna neared completion, Guru Nanak Dev Ji approached him, his eyes filled with love and pride, and gave Bhai Lerna a big, loving embrace. The Guru recognized in Bhai Lerna a true Sikh, one who had internalized the essence of spirituality, selflessness, devotion, and acceptance. Embracing Bhai Lerna, Guru Nanak Dev Ji showered him with blessings, acknowledging his unwavering dedication and profound understanding. From that moment on, Bhai Lerna became Guru Angad Dev Ji, the second Sikh Guru, the light of the divine, and continued spreading the teachings of Guru Nanak Dev Ji with the same passion and love that he had exemplified through his steadfast commitment to building the wall. Sangat Ji, last week, Bhai Rishipal Singh Ji in his discourse mentioned that there isn't a word in English that translates the Gurmukhi words of Manan or Manna, which is correct. But also got me thinking, which word best describes the concept of Manan? And the closest word to this, in my opinion, is acceptance. Man, to accept without question, with full faith. This is what Guru Angad Dev Ji embodies in this Sakhi, this story. To man, to accept without question, Sangat Ji, takes extreme courage, selflessness, and love. To accept and surrender your mind when the whole world and everyone around you is telling you otherwise is extremely tough. But Guru Angad Dev Ji taught us that if you surrender yourself to the Guru, to the divine will embrace you and become yours. Imagine that. Imagine having the divine in your corner, fighting with you every step of the way. The Guru has given us these examples throughout history, through his saints, of the power of listening, accepting, and surrendering to the word of the divine. This reminds me of a story of the great saint of the 20th century, Baba Isha Singh Ji of Nanaksar. Once, during severe weather conditions in Punjab, there was a heavy snowfall, and the entire Gurdwara was covered in thick layers of snow. The harsh weather conditions made it challenging for anyone to step outside, let alone perform any seva. Despite the extreme weather, Baba Isha Singh Ji was determined to continue their seva to the Guru and the Sangat. With a heart full of love and devotion, he braved the freezing cold and began the daunting task of clearing the snow from the pathways leading to the Gurdwara. Throughout the day and night, Babaji toiled tirelessly, shoveling and removing the snow so that the Sangat could comfortably visit the Gurdwara and offer their prayers. He did not rest or seek warmth, as his sole focus was on serving his Guru and ensuring the Sangat's comfort. The news of Babaji's relentless seva in such harsh conditions spread like wildfire. Many people from the nearby villages and towns were deeply moved by his devotion and selflessness. Inspired by his actions, some devotees also joined him in cleaning the snow, creating a sense of unity and community service. Witnessing Babaji's unwavering dedication to seva, the local Sangat and other devotees were profoundly touched and humbled. The incident became a powerful example of selfless service. inspiring others to follow Babaji's footsteps and serve with a similar spirit of devotion and humility. Sangat Ji, this is what the Manna bodies are teaching us. They're teaching us the power of acceptance, accepting the word of the divine, to accept these divine teachings with full faith and love. We have listened to the words of the divine in the Sunya bodies. It is now explained the power listening, accepting, and applying has on our spiritual being. Let's dive into the Gurbani of the 15th body and the final Manna bodies. Sri Vaheguru Ji, Manna paveh mokh dwar, Manna parvar sadar, Manna tare tare gur sikh, Manna nanak paveh na pikh, Aisa naam niranjan hoye, Je ko man jana man koye, Aisa naam niranjan hoye, Je ko man jana man koye, Manna paveh mokh dwar. Through listening, accepting, and implementing the Guru's teaching, one can find the door of moksha, the door of liberation, the 10th gate, the Dasam Dwar. What is the Dasam Dwar? On our bodies, we have 9 openings: 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, a mouth, and 2 below. That's 9. We also have a hidden gate or opening, which is located at the top of our head. This is known as the Dasam Dwar, the 10th gate. In Buddhism, this is known as the 10,000 petal lotus. In Hinduism, it is called the crown chakra, etc., etc. The Dasam Dwar is opened only through the blessings of the Almighty. And once opened, one has a direct, uninterrupted connection with the divine. You can achieve the state of liberation. Throughout our various discourses, we consistently mention that everything is within us. What we are searching for is within us. An infinite divine existence is within us. How can we access this then? In the 6th body of Japji Sahib, Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, Mat vich ratan jawahar manik, je ik gur ki sikh suni. By listening and in turn accepting and implementing the words of the divine, one can access the gems and rubies within. Sangat Ji, manna to man, as we mentioned earlier, in essence means to accept the Guru's mat, the Guru's wisdom, and know it as the complete truth. And to do this, you first have to surrender your own ego. You have to accept that your way of thinking is corrupt and embedded with the subtle entanglements of Maya. Whenever you read Gurbani, or read the Bible, or the Quran, or the Gita, take those teachings and implement them in your life. And often, Sangat Ji, it's not a straightforward path. It's a constant battle with yourself to uphold the teachings of the divine. Those who stay true and implement every teaching of the Guru, they're called saints. From my own experience, Sangat Ji, the Guru says, Amrit Vela Satnao Vidai Vichar. The Guru is telling me to wake up at Amrit Vela and contemplate on the divine. On some days, I'd wake up and stay true to the Guru's teachings. But on other days, I would lose the battle against my Maya mind and sleep in. When the alarm goes off, I'd be flooded with the thoughts of the soldiers of Maya. I would convince myself that I would only snooze the alarm for 5 more minutes. Or I needed the sleep because I had a long day ahead. Or one day wouldn't hurt. I'm sure the divine wouldn't mind. These are the battles we face if we want to follow the footsteps of the great saints and accept the Guru's word. Every day, every single minute, we must attempt to fight the forces of Maya. We will lose many battles along the way. But the next time you face that battle, you get up and try again. You will lose that battle again. But the next day, you go again and again, until such time where the divine pats you on the back, gives you his blessings and the strength to win the battle. In war, Sangat Ji, soldiers from both sides die. But in the end, it is about who wins the overall war, not about the small losses within the war. So Sangat Ji, manna paveh mokh dwar. By accepting and implementing, one can reach the state of moksha. Manna parvara sadhar. By accepting and implementing, one can be the support and strength of their family. Sangat Ji, Gurbani gives inner strength. The more you listen to the Guru, the more you become like them. The more you become the embodiment of the divine teachings. When you are ensured by the divine, as Baba Jaswant Singh Ji would say, how could anything break you? Once you have this inner strength, you'll be able to be that unmovable rock and provide support for those you love and those in need. A fine example of this would be the saints of the divine. Baba Jaswant Singh Ji, despite suffering a magnitude of physical ailments, were the strength and support of thousands of the Sangat, and still to this day. People from all over the world would share their problems to Babaji. When my aunt had cancer, our family asked Babaji to do an ardas, a prayer to the divine for her health. And a simple ardas from Babaji gave us the peace of mind that she was in good hands and relieved some of the stresses. The Gurmukh who listens and accepts the teachings of the divine becomes the strength for those who feel stranded and alone. Sangat Ji, let's take this step of acceptance and channel the Guru's energy to be the strength, the beacon of light for others. Manna tare tare gur sikh. What is the purpose of life? Just think about this. What is your purpose? What is our purpose? Is it just to live, be happy, spend money, buy stuff, etc., etc.? All this stuff will make us miserable one day or another. I remember, Sangat Ji, when I first bought my mobile phone. It was the latest and top of the range mobile. It had just been released and I was so excited to have it. And now the same phone annoys me. It has slowed down, has overheating issues, the storage is full. Something that brought me temporary happiness once is now frustrating me. Is it our life to just live in the constant peak and troughs of happiness and pain? Is this life? Sangat Ji, this is what we believe to be true. But when you sit with those Gursikhs, those beings who have earned the Guru's word with every breath, with every action, with every thought, just sitting and listening to them, you start to realize that there might be something beyond this turbulent life. You hear the bliss from which they speak from, and you realize that there is a world beyond this, a world of beauty, and this is the world rooted in the Shabad. Our purpose is to return back home to our Divine Father. To do this, we have to cross the treacherous ocean of the Bhavsagar. We have to overcome a constant influx of obstacles. We'll constantly be beaten down by the soldiers of Maya. And Sangat Ji, if Maya has soldiers, we also need to arm ourselves. Gurbani says, Tavo dasa anek prem prabhakarane panch sada satavah doot kavan bid marane tikhan ban chalaye naam prabh tyaya harha maha bikhadi kaat purna guru gur paya. I run around in all directions searching for the love of God. The 5 evil enemies are tormenting me. How can I destroy them? Shoot them with the sharp arrows of meditation on the divine name. O Lord, the way to slaughter these terrible, sadistic enemies is obtained from the perfect Guru. We need to use the soldiers of Seva, Simran, and Sangat, and the power of the Guru's word. We have to first listen, then accept the Guru's word. Then, Manne Tare Tare Gur Sikh will be carried over this ocean of the Bhavsagar like the Gursikhs and the Gurmukhs have. Manna Nanak Pavah Na Pikh. Guru Nanak says, the Guru Sikh will never have to beg at anyone's feet. Once you beg at the feet of the divine, you won't have to beg at the feet of anyone else for anything. Manna, like we mentioned, takes a full surrender, like how the saints and the Gurmukhs have done. If you look at some of the saints, they don't have worldly jobs like me and you. However, the divine has ensured that they have everything: clothes, food, shelter. If you accept the word of the divine, everything will be taken care of. Aisa naam niranjana hoye. Such is the name of the Immaculate Lord. Such is the beauty of the Lord's name. Je ko man jana man koe. Only that person who mans, listens, and accepts the way of the divine, accepts the hukam of the divine, accepts the rules of the true game of life, will achieve such a state of mind where the divine themselves will be their guide, where impossible becomes possible. Sangat Ji, when one loses a loved one, they say one of the first stages to help you move on is acceptance. Once one accepts the state of reality, they can then take steps to move on to the next stage of life. Man, you have to accept the truth of the reality, as difficult as it may be. In a similar way, Sangat Ji, for one to make improvements in their own life, you must accept the fact that you're not perfect, that you have made many mistakes and aren't where you want to be. Once you identify and accept your current situation, you can then grow and develop something beautiful. Like the saints of the divine have accepted the way of the Almighty, and in this acceptance have surrendered their ego, and in return, the divine has given them the jewel of Naam. Jao to prem khilan ka chao, sir tar tali gali meri aao. If you desire to play this game of love with me, then step onto my path with your head in hand. We must accept and surrender our head to the Guru, to the divine. We often half-heartedly do this, Sangat Ji. I'm included in this. But when we spend time in the Sangat of those who have lived and earned the values of these Manna Pauris, you yourself start to change. And the inner desire to surrender yourself, to give your head, will arise. And we too can be blessed by the divine and be the support for those in need. With these words, Sangat Ji, I've come to the end of the discourse. Please forgive me for the mistakes I've made in this discourse and continue to bless me and bless us as a Sangat to continue this seva. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.